Okay, so in my head, this is a funny story, but I feel like I might not be able to tell the story in a way that doesn't come across as boring, so I apologize. Let's see how I do. The main thing that made this conversation so frustrating is that it didn't make sense, and that's what I'm hoping to communicate to you. So, I call customer service and I'm like, hey, I've got an issue with my account, whatever, I need you to help me out. So, ask my address, my date of birth, my name, all that kind of stuff, no problem. And then this woman on the other end of the line is like, oh, also I need to know what your security questions are. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, I've got some security questions here, I need to know what they are. And I was like, that's not how security questions work. The way that a security question is supposed to work is that you ask me the question and I give you the answer because I'm the one who would have chosen the questions initially. I may be making myself sound a bit more brazen than I actually was in the moment, but I'm pretty sure I was quite direct in saying, well, that isn't how they work. I think what I actually said was, well, aren't you supposed to ask me the question? And she was like, no, I need to know what your security questions are. It was like very much a case of, first of all, let me just be clear. This woman, she didn't seem to have two brain cells to rub together. She was like genuinely stupid. And I'm not someone who calls people stupid as an insult. I'm someone who calls people stupid as a description to help you understand that this person was stupid. So she was sort of in this weird like autopilot mode where she didn't seem to understand that the question she was asking didn't make any sense. That she was saying, I need your security questions. So I was stuck in the situation where I had to explain to this woman, or try to explain to her, how security questions work. So I was like, well, no, you, I think, are supposed to ask me the question. And if you told me what the question was, then I could give you an answer to that question. I could, because obviously I would know because I am me. And therefore, if the question's like, what is my first pet's name, I would know what that was. But yeah, like all stupid people you ever speak to in customer service, she was just stuck on this kind of default mode where it was just like nothing was penetrating her brain. She was just like, yeah, so I'm gonna have to know what your security questions are though, sir. Anyway, I guess now I think about it, the story's kind of short. Like there isn't that much to this, but eventually I was like, well, because I just could not get her to understand the fact that she was supposed to ask me the questions and I was supposed to provide the answer. I wasn't supposed to be giving her the security. Like she seemed to think that the way that security questions work is that you remember the security question itself. Like you remember what the question was. But obviously that's not how it works because like that's how on earth would you remember what question you picked? And even if you could remember what question you picked, what would even be the point in having the answers? Like if just the point of a security question was to have a perfect memory of exactly what question you picked. And I know there's no point in me explaining this because everyone else understands this, but I just need to stress, like what would be the point in even having the answer to the question if the point of the question itself was that you perfectly remember which questions you picked when you set up the account in the first place? So, whatever. I was forced to eventually say, well, if what you're saying, like I really need to stress to her that this doesn't make any sense. So like, if what you're saying is that I need to guess what the question is, then I guess maybe the question would be, what was the first school I went to? In which case the answer would be, and then I, presented the answer to that question. And then she, I don't know, it was just like, there was something really annoying about this. The way she then went, all right, okay, so that's not matching the information I have here. So, I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to progress your query because we're not able to prove that you are you. And I wanted to just, like, genuinely, I was so annoyed because the way she said it, as if, like, I had failed in the way I'd engaged with the system rather than her just not knowing how to actually do, because there is no way, like I'm saying it right now, there is no way that there is a company out there that has a policy of this is how you are supposed to operate with the security questions. Because again, that is not what security questions are. Security questions don't involve having to guess the question itself. You just provide the answer. So this woman just did not know what she was doing, but she was like so confident about it. Like the fact that I made an effort, because okay, look, there's some people out there who are a bit socially awkward. They aren't in a position to be calling people out directly when they think that person's made a mistake. I'm not one of those people. I'm very happy to call someone out if I think they're being an idiot. So I was telling her, like, no, you do not understand how the security question works. You are supposed to be asking me the question. And she was just completely unfazed by it. She was just like, it's almost like she wasn't even like defensive. It was almost just as if the words I was saying weren't registering with her. And she just kept returning back to, yes, but I need you to tell me what your security question is. You know how like sometimes they say, oh, these calls might be recorded for training and whatever else. And I usually just ignore that, but this was one moment where I was thinking, I'm really, really happy that this is being recorded because I hope that this woman gets fired. Like, I don't care. I don't want them to, I mean, again, how would they even explain to her? Like, I wonder, like, even if the manager called her in and said, hey, we heard this call where you were just not understanding how the security questions are supposed to work. So, you know, we want to help you not make this mistake in the future. Would that even register with her? I think they just need to fire her. I wonder what she's doing. Like, I genuinely do sometimes think about that woman and think to myself, like, what's going on in her life?